According to the UK Gaming Commission, over 650,000 betting accounts have either been limited or closed. Now imagine that number on a global scale. If you're profitable, sportsbooks don't want your action. It's that plain and simple. As the saying goes, to beat the enemy, you've got to know the enemy. By the end of this video, you will know how sportsbooks operate and how you can beat them. I'm Tony from Betting Analyst, a full-time betting professional. If you're ready to beat the sportsbooks at their own game, let's crack on. So let's kick it off with how the sportsbooks actually see you. They're going to try to put you into one of 5 categories. Now, once upon a time, they used to use expert odds compilers, people who could come up with ideas where the price should lie. Unfortunately, that is long gone. Nowadays, they're importing most of their odds from systems, probably copy and pasting each other or tracking the markets in Asia. But at the end of the day, it's all about the risk manager. Somebody's going to be watching you from day one and deciding whether you are capable or not. So let's just go through the 5 categories. First of all is the VIP, right? That is the top of their list. They're the customers that they want to target. If they get one, they're going to be very nice to them. They're going to be giving them bonuses. They're going to be sending them birthday presents, probably tickets to football matches, etc. VIP means they've got money to burn. They're not interested in the odds, that they're not going to be experts. They're not dangerous to the sports book, and they're just losers when it comes to gambling. And then secondly, you've got the habitual loser. Now you see a lot of these people in betting shops, they're there. The guy behind the counter knows them. John, your tea's there, right? I'm afraid there is too many of these people. And if you do fit into this category, I would sort of beg you, honestly, to break away from it. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, and you just need to get out of sports betting. Now, most bettors fit into the next category, which is casual bettors. Now, these are no harm to anyone, right? They're betting for a bit of fun. It's just an occasional bet. It might be on their football team. It might just be the weekends. They might be interested in the horse racing. They do not leave a fortune on the table, but they're no risk for the sportsbook. Fortunately now, 80-90% probably players come into this category where they do like the occasional bet, but it's not going to be life-changing. And then you've got the break-even boys. Now, these are the guys that are nearly there. They're looking dangerous. They've got an interest in sports betting. They probably found, that sort of balance where they can at least bet on their own backs and not possibly profit, but not lose at the same time. Now, sports books, they don't like these type of people as well. And the reason for that is quite simple, right? They think, they are dangerous. If they go that little bit extra, then they can find their way, and unfortunately the sports books will limit them, and they will also pull away all the incentives. If they see that you're sort of breaking even, they won't want to know because they'll see you as a danger. And then of course you've got the one that we want you to be, and that is the winner, and that's why you should also be subscribing to this channel. But if you are a winner, one of the things that you're going to be up against is you are going to get limited very quickly. You're going to get your betting accounts closed. You might have to start looking at alternative methods to profit. Now, there's going to be no incentives for you whatsoever. And if you do break any rules on your journey to winning, I'm afraid you're going to struggle at the payout, right? So, these are where you've got to cover yourselves. But now let's just go on to the actual incentives. So let's talk about the lure, how they actually keep punters hooked to betting. Now, when signing up, you're going to get what they call an FTD, a first time deposit bonus. And normally it's probably 50 quid, 100 quid. In the States, it's a little bit more, but it is dropping. Match bettors used to rely on this, used to sign up with like a load of different bookmakers, play them off against each other. But like I say, the value is going back. But everybody gets their FTD, the first time deposit bonus. And then you've got the accumulator, the parlay bet. They give bonuses, if you can put 5-6 teams together, and then they might give you 10-20% bonus on that. It sounds good. It sounds as though they're taking away their advantage, but in theory it's a low value, high risk bet, and all they're doing is giving you a little bit of compensation. Place terms, as far as like horse racing, golf goes, Normally 8 runners more means 3 places, but in this instance they're probably giving you 5, 6 places. I've even seen giving them 10 places on some golf tournaments. This is an incentive, but normally it's built into the fact that you've got to bet each way, which means it's connected to the win market as well, and they will just lower the real odds of the win, right? So they take a little bit of value back there. So incentive, yes it is, but it's a little bit of a con, like I mentioned. Then of course you've got the cash out. And now the thing is with the cash out is that normally it's bad value, because it's like going to the supermarket, you pay 20 quid for something, you take it back and they give you 15 for it, right? So you know you are losing value when you're giving something back. But some cash outs, if you are VIP, they might actually pay you out literally in full at that stage, not full for the winning ticket, but full up to that stage. So it could be a little bit of an incentive. You've got the BOG, which is on English horse racing mainly. That's the best odds guaranteed. If the SP goes off bigger than the odds that you've taken, then you would get paid that. This is quickly removed from anybody who shows any signs of winning, right? So bear that in mind. You've got the odds boost. This is where they pretend, a bit like a supermarket, when they reduce the price, you know, say instead, with the bookmakers, it's the opposite way. Instead of 3.50 odds, they're going to give you 3.75. It just sounds like they're giving you a little bit more. But the truth is, if you go and probably look on the other sides, they're giving you nothing, right? So bear that in mind. And then, of course, you've got the free bets. This might happen now and then. They'll give you a free bet to another 10. The cashbacks, right? So every sort of week, every month, if you're playing a lot of money and losing a lot of money, they might get 30% cash back. They might even get 40% cash back, but it is from losses. So it might sound good in theory, but again, it depends on what prices you were getting, and if you ever won, you know what would happen to you in that case, right? So bear that in mind. And then finally, the thing I want to mention is with the VIP, they're going to roll out the red carpet. They're literally going to give you all of the above, plus more, free tickets to football games, you name it. You're going to get a concert, you get your birthday, whatever. They want to keep those VIPs at any cost. If you're profitable at sports betting, this part is particularly important. Spying. Our soft sportsbooks profile you. If you think they're not watching you, think again. The second that you go on your computer and accept cookies, you are basically giving them a license to track you, whether you are logged into that account or not. If you're on that website, they can track you. So bear that in mind if you're clicking cookies, yes. But the important thing is, of course, that is if you're winning. You don't have to worry too much if you're not winning. Now, the detection software is another factor. Sportsbooks, nowadays, they're using a hell of a lot of software to find out people who are getting third-party betting accounts. They're going to be looking into your IP. They will want to know what type of VPN is being used, if it is being used. They will know the ID of your computer, your telephone, your MacBook, you name it. It is a problem. If we turn the clock back a few years, Coral were caught actually using a spy software that people accepted on their computer. It was called Snare. Now read up on that one if you wish to, but detection software is there to help them profile you. And as far as the betting software goes, now this is going to be looking into your achievements, you know, what you're good at, what you're weak at, what's your strengths. So let's just imagine that you are actually profitable in MLB, but you're losing in NFL. You know what's going to happen? They're going to cut your limit massively on MLB, but they're going to increase your limit on NFL. This is how they catch you out. They might just let you carry on betting if they think you are a loser on the sport that you're betting on, but if you're profitable on something, they will stop it or at least limit you badly. And the final thing I want to say on this one, where they're profiling you, is the social media surveillance. I mean, if you are on Twitter, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, they'll probably be watching you, right? If they see something, if they see a betting slip, if they see that you're a value player, if they see that you are selling tips or that you've got some superior ability, they're going to be jumping on you. If they can find out your name, they're going to be limiting your betting account. Now, that's not a problem for somebody like me, because I'm in the betting Asia with the sort of high profile sports books, but it's a problem for people betting with everyday soft books. So bear that one in mind. Don't be posting slips if they are fantastic value. Just keep it to yourself, right? You don't need them to know. So let me share with you how you can find an edge. Right, firstly, I just need to quickly mention that when you're actually betting, most punters, they're betting at odds 1.90 when the true odds are 2. Whereas professional gamblers, they will be betting at higher odds than 2. So let's just say 2.10, thus giving themselves a 5% advantage. This is the basics of it. It's all down to the numbers. It's the mathematics. But firstly is you get to pick and choose when to bet. Now just imagine all those sports books are putting up tens of thousands of bets each week, right? There's loads of different sports books, so you've got that competition as well. You can use multiple sports books to get an advantage, and you get to choose when to bet. And then of course you've got the value betting tools. These are going to help you immensely, especially when you learn to use them. It's the easiest way to get ahead. I used to spend hundreds of thousands on building such systems. Believe me, I spend a fortune on software. Nowadays you can sign up, get something for 100, 200 quid and you're away and going. Yeah, it's fantastic tools, and I'm going to suggest one to you now, and it's called Pinnacle Odds Dropper. Pod does exactly what it says. It picks out the falling odds at the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So let me explain. When the odds drop at Pinnacle Sport, you receive an instant notification. It informs you of the percentage drop and gives benchmark and no vig odds that you need to beat. If you find higher odds with your sportsbooks, you have an EV bet, expected value. The bigger the discrepancy, the bigger the value. Also, Pod has informative charts so you can see how odds moved, and it gives you current betting limits, which shows you market strength. In the events section, you can do a search for any fixture offered by Pinnacle. On opening, you see current and no vig odds, your benchmark. And again, the charts and limits are there. I should also mention you will be seeing true odds. The only other way to get these is through being logged in at the Pinnacle website. Even then, Pod is easier to read than the website itself. Pod gives you up-to-date in-play odds, which is being used by many to build a massive betting bank. And the best part, there's a 21-day money-back guarantee, meaning zero risk and high value. Try Pinnacle Odds Dropper today. It might just become your secret weapon. So that's a wrap. Hopefully you've watched this far, and if you did, I will say a big thank you. Right, keep it here. We are doing lots of educational videos. We're trying to get you ahead of the sports book, getting you in the right frame of mind. But it is all about follow through. So the action's actually got to come from your side. So, just take that on board. But that's it for now. We're going to see you in the next one very shortly. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.